Manchester United always seem to find ourselves in need of what, 5 or 6 players every summer. It feels like every single summer. It's like the Detroit Lions. It's kind of like being a Detroit Lions fan, right? Every year is a rebuild year. We always seem to be in a rebuild, but we seem to have depth. We seem to struggle with quality and depth when we get injuries, when we need some rotation, when we're competing on 4 different fronts. Hopefully next year, right? Praying, fingers crossed. But we always need in need of depth, and that is what I want to talk about today because whether or not you think it's a priority where we need depth at the left wing right now. We don't really have any natural left wingers. We've got very right side heavy when it comes to attack as well. Cunha, not necessarily a left winger, but we need some help. We need someone who can be trusted to start when rotation is needed, when we have injuries, for instance. Someone who brings goals, brings assists, brings a little bit of that direct play, that 1v1, that confidence, a little bit of that mentality, that arrogance that we like at United, right? But that's the question we're going to talk about today. Who should that be? Who should United target? Who fits the bill? I'm going to explore that all today. I've got a few options I think Man United should consider this summer for that left side of our attack. Options who maybe you don't expect to start week in, week out, but perhaps are good enough with a little bit more time and with a little bit more of a challenge, maybe good enough to challenge for that spot. We'll see. But we're going to talk about that today, you guys. This is United versus Everybody. I'm your host, Sean. Let's get stuck in, you guys. How's everybody's day going? It's surprising that it's Wednesday. Anybody watch any Champions League this week? I know there's a lot of a lot of drama going on yesterday. I didn't watch the Madrid match yesterday. I was on Hayden Hackney watch yesterday, so was watching Middlesbrough play Coventry. Is a pretty good match actually, especially for the neutral. But and then today, obviously, right now, if you've been following the channel, I did post the under-18s are playing in an FA Cup match against Oxford United. Last time I checked, they were up 3-0. JJ Gabriel, Cheeto, is doing really really well for them. So you can switch over there. I did put a link to that in the YouTube channel, but the game's pretty much over. It'll be over with in about 15 minutes. But how was everybody doing today? Let's see who's in the house. Danny B's in the house, as always. I knew if there was going to be a scouting report video, Danny B would be in the house. Big up, Danny. But yes, just a few months ago, we sold all of our left wingers, right? Because we switched to a manager who doesn't really use wingers, right? We brought in Ruben Amorim. We sold Sancho, we sold Garnacho, we sold Rashford as well. We didn't sell; they're on loan technically, but you know what I mean. Because we played a 3-4-2-1. We weren't playing wingers anymore. We were playing wing backs, which is just very, very specific. It kind of meant that we were going to have to start fresh. It was a very bold move from Ineos. Fast forward to now, though, that system is gone, along with the manager who championed it. I think we're all over 3 at the back. I think that's why a lot of people maybe are not heavy on Thomas Tuchel. It is what it is. It's funny how things work out, though, isn't it? But we are playing a 4-2-3-1 under interim head coach Michael Carrick. And he seemed in that position, that left side, he seemed to favor Patrick Dorgu his first couple matches in charge before he obviously picked up that hamstring injury. And to his credit, Dorgu was amazing on that left-hand side. He was overlapping, underlapping. He was driving into the middle of the park. He was linking up with Bruno. Obviously, that goal against Arsenal, chef's kiss. That means that Mateus Cunha was filling in for a while as well, now that Dorgu's gone. So it was a question mark over where Cunha maybe is going to start if everyone's fit. We'll see how it goes. But while Cunha can play there, and he has played at the left wing, not only at United, but in his career, it's not a big leap from playing as a left-sided 10 where he plays at Wolves by you. But you can kind of tell watching Mateus Cunha that the center of the pitch, kind of cutting in, playing in that channel, even in the center. I mean, his goal against Arsenal, again, cutting in central position. He takes up a lot of central positions. It's where he's most comfortable. So whoever takes over on the touchline in the summer, whether that's Michael Carrick or not, and wherever Dorgu and Cunha are played in the starting 11, I do still think we could use some depth on that left-hand side. Again, we don't have a ton of depth, especially if, again, like if we're competing on multiple competitions next season, we're going to need some help. I'm not looking at guys, though, like Diamande. So if you guys are coming here wanting to know about Diamande, I'm not looking at guys like that because, again, I don't think it's as huge a priority to go and spend 80 to 100 million on a player. That's just, I don't think we're there right now. I think we'll be fine without that. 100 million is way too much. We have other priorities as well. I don't want to spend that much on a winger when we've got midfielder. If we're going to spend big, it needs to be on a midfielder like an Elliot Anderson or a Wharton or somebody like that. And Danny, I did see your comment. Mama, I need to watch more of Mama before I can get. I just haven't seen enough, and it's not because I haven't liked what I see. I just haven't watched a lot of Watford this season, so I will check that out. Maybe he'll feature in a future scouting report stream. I did another one of those the other day. You guys go check that out. But we're going to talk today about some players. I got 5 today, 5 left wingers who wouldn't necessarily come in and maybe expect to start for whatever reason or other, but opportunity. They can be trusted. They have numbers to back it up. They've got performances to back it up. They passed the eye test as well. But all these guys are doing the job. Devices, here I am, like you've had blow. Yeah, I didn't even check the scores yesterday. Hold on, before we dive in, I want to do a Champions League check here because I didn't even really follow anything was happening yesterday. So Juve got just pumped by Galatasaray, 5 goals, and they went a man down. I did see Madrid beat Benfica 1-0. That was a cluster bleep. PSG, I think, came back from being down against Monaco to beat them 3-2. And then the Dortmund beat Atalanta. Man, Atalanta kind of dropped off a cliff. We've got Newcastle up 6-1. Anthony Gordon's got like 4 goals. What a blowout, man. And then Bodo Glimt take on Inter, Club Brugge versus Atletico Madrid and Olympiacos for Leverkusen. So obviously Jarvis will be watching Bodo Glimt take on Inter. That'll be an interesting match. But so without further ado, sorry, kind of went off on a little tangent there. Let's dive into my 5 options. I put a poll in the chat. I want to know as well what you guys think priority-wise. Is left winger top priority? Is it cool if we get one, but he wouldn't spend a lot? Is it just nothing you're thinking about? It's not even on your radar. Let me know in the poll. It is 20% off everything in the United vs. Everybody store right now, so go check that out as well. You always can tell when something's coming up here. So let's dive in first and foremost with my first pick, and that is Crescencio Somerville. So you know, if you've been following the channel for a while, that I don't hold to the belief that Premier League proven is automatic brownie points for a player. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it doesn't matter. Like in Bruno Fernandes' case, it doesn't matter. But there are plenty of players who are currently in the Premier League that I would take at United. It just is what it is. Even clubs that are facing relegation, which is why I wouldn't mind poaching West Ham for 24-year-old Crescencio Somerville. I love this guy when he was at Leeds. He's rapid. He's very direct. He's got really good dribbling. Goals when he was at Leeds. And in a shit West Ham side, he looks good, but he's especially recently. But you can tell that, with all the changes going on, Nuno struggling to start, you can tell his confidence was a bit shaken as well. But he is looking back to his best self. He scored 5 games in a row, 2 assists as well. First West Ham player to do that in more than 30 years as well. And got another goal in the FA Cup recently as well. He's almost single-handedly pulling West Ham out of a relegation scrap on his own, just with his pace and his directness and just the way they play. If United were to bring him in, have him as a rotation, because he's going to play minimum 24 matches if we're in all 4 competitions and we go deep, right? And that's good rotation. Going from West Ham to United and playing in Champions League and whatnot, it's a decent step up, right? If we could get him back to his Leeds form, where he put up 21 goals and 10 assists in the 23-24 season, I mean, imagine that, right? This is where he lives on the pitch. So West Ham paid about £25 million for him and reportedly demand a crazy fee to sell him when Roma, Bayern, and Spurs came calling. But if West Ham are relegated, they might not have a choice. He might be going for whatever, especially since the players like Somerville will take a massive pay cut if they're relegated. And so there's nothing wrong with poaching teams that get relegated. And Somerville is definitely a player that I would absolutely poach from West Ham. There are a few players. We'll do another stream later on in the season where we'll take a couple players from each relegated side. Danny likes Somerville. Yeah, if you watched him play for Leeds, again, dude, over 30 goal involvements in 23-24 is insane from the left wing. But very good player, Somerville. I think the way he plays suits us very well. I think, especially if Carrick's in charge, he likes pace, he likes power, he likes direct play and confidence on the wings. And I think Somerville ticks all those boxes personally. So let me know what you think about Somerville. I like him a lot. I'm going to move on to my next option, you guys. Some of you guys are familiar with this cat. Some of you guys are not. Let's talk a little bit about Malik Fofana. Another pacey, direct, and technically gifted winger, but one who's also got some room to grow. Now, he already had some excellent dribbling to match that speed, which I like. I like if you're fast, great. If you've got good dribbling, great. If you can do both, that's awesome. His progressive numbers are among the best in the top 5 leagues as well. He's comfortable and he's capable of taking on defenders 1v1, cutting inside, getting to the byline. He kind of does it all. He thrives in a fast-paced, dynamic, fluid attacking system that will take advantage of space in behind and counterattacking opportunities. Sound familiar? It's exactly how Michael Carrick plays, right? Fofana is young. His decision-making in the final third is not the finished article yet, but that's why he's also not a guaranteed starter. Again, he's a rotation option who can grow into a starting role, contribute, be trusted upon to start when needed as well. Especially if maybe Bruno leaves in the future, Cunha maybe moves centrally, and you need someone, I think by 21, 22, we'll see what he's all about. But I like him a lot. Now, why did I use past tense when I was talking about Fofana? Well, he's had a serious ankle injury that's kept him out of action since October. He needed surgery. He is back in training now. It is the first real injury of his career, though. So, again, I'm not going to worry too much about it. First injury, we'll see how he recovers. So maybe there's an asterisk, but 11 goals, 5 assists last season. And he was also still a rotation option for Lyon. Remember, he's still very young. He did give us some trouble in the Europa League, if you guys remember that as well. He was featured in L'Equipe's top 30 under 20 players in the world back in 2024. Made it to the Golden Boy long list last year as well. Why does he fit? Again, pacey, direct, good runs off the ball, which is good for dragging defenders out of position, maybe pinning fullbacks back deep because they know this guy's got pace. That's also a good skill to have. He can play both sides, versatile. Now, Lyon are reportedly holding out for between 40 and 50 million euros as of recently, but it wouldn't break the bank to bring Fofana to United is the point. 40 million euros is nothing, personally. Red Devil teacher, I think it's Dylan, says would be a great pickup. Yeah, I like Fofana a lot. Yeah, Fofana's good. Again, the injury, we'll see how he comes back from that ankle injury. But again, if he come back into form, chef's kiss, man. He's been injured for a little bit, unfortunately. But yeah, I like Fofana a lot. But I think he just ticks. You can kind of see where I'm going with this, right? Players who are pacey, who are direct, offer goals, but who also you wouldn't expect them necessarily. You wouldn't say, let's bring Somerville. He's going to start week in, week out like that. If you're looking like that's what we're looking at depth right now. Move on to my next option. You guys saw me talk about this. Oh, sorry. This is where Fofana lives on the pitch as well. This is his heat map from last season. Again, he's been injured a lot this season from that ankle injury. So that's last season. So if you watched my scouting report the other day, you've already got a little bit of a deep dive on this one, but I'm talking back about Micah Goetz. I took a closer look at him earlier in the week. There's nothing else I can say that I didn't cover in that show. It's not like he had any sort of major breakthrough sense. He's got pace. He's good on the ball, good passing range, good chance creation as well. He's got confidence. He's got a really good long range shot. And he's very comfortable playing in those half spaces too, kind of cutting inward in that tight area where there's not a ton of space to work with, but he can work in that space. And what I really like is he pitches in off the ball too. Really high pressing numbers from him as well, which I think is what lends him to the Premier League a lot. I said that the other day. I think that he's one that I don't think would have too much trouble adjusting to the pace and the physicality of the Premier League. 12 goals, 10 assists in all comps so far this season. He's second in the league for goals, third for assists, eighth for big chances created, third for key passes per 90. He is first for successful dribbles per 90. It's pretty much everything you want in a winger. He is a bit of a maverick. He has that spark of arrogance that I think we do like at United. Not the Garnacho kind of arrogance, but like the Cunha-esque kind of mentality kind of thing, if you get my drift there. He backs himself. I think if we can harness that confidence to create some excellent competition for a place in the starting 11, I think that's exactly what you want. You want everybody looking over their shoulder in your squad. You want everybody up in their game, rising to that challenge to maintain. You can see he works a lot in that interior space to that half space in the channels. Now, some United fans might be a little bit shy when it comes to wingers from the Eredivisie. We haven't had great luck with guys like Memphis or Antony, but all it takes is for one to get it right. And it's off to the races, right? He is just 20. So I do think coming from Ajax to the Premier League at 20 years old would be a rotation role, maybe as an impact sub would be ideal for his development. I think that would be get his confidence up, get his numbers up, get him used to playing. I think that's the kind of the way you introduce those young pacey wingers to the sides. Now Besiktas had 15 million turned down. Napoli were linked as well. New contract recently too, so could be a little bit much, but 35 million pounds is what I've read that Ajax are demanding for Goats. Oddly enough, that was also the original asking price for Antony. So wait too long and it'll jump to 85 million again. Am I right? We've all been there. We've all seen that movie, right? um, let's see. Dana says, yeah, good engine. Goats up there on my list. Yeah, Goats is very, very, very good. I like him a lot. Debasi says, Ajax players give me a scam 5, at least the price. If we wait too long, then yeah, we'll get bent. But that's the price you pay for, going in on a player in June and then waiting till late August. Any club is going to ask for more. And that I don't blame Ten Hag for that. I don't blame Anthony for that. Is all on the guys in charge at United at the time who were decision makers. You guys know I never blame a player for the price. So I got to close a couple windows here because FootMob is not cooperating today, so you guys don't get to look at a whole lot of that FootMob stuff today. But moving on, we got another app. We're cruising. I don't know, where's this poll up to right now? How's everybody doing today, by the way? So far, 60% of you say that left wing, not crucial, but depth is needed. 40% of you say it is the top priority. None of you think that it is not a priority at all. So it sounds like we're all kind of on the same page, but let's talk a little bit about this guy, Maxi Araujo. Oldest player on my list. He's 26 years old. He just turned 26 this weekend, though. So it's not like he's going on 27. He literally just turned 26. And he has really found a new level. He kind of found a new lease on life since he moved from a fullback role to a more attacking role. He plays at Sporting. I forgot to update the age there. Sorry, my bad. 5 goals, 3 assists in all comps this season. It is already equal his goals and assists from last season. Araujo's got pace. He's got a work rate off the ball. He's got a stamina that is to die for. And a wand of a left foot if we're looking for someone who can put a ball in the box while also, again, classic fullbacks, overlaps, underlaps. Araujo kind of does it all. He's got a knack for making late runs to get on the end of crosses at the back stick as well, which is a really good little skill to have. And again, it is a bonus that if needed, he can fill in at left back. Again, he is basically a left back who has been moved to a winger role, and he's doing great. Of course, we were linked when Amorim was still here, but again, those were a lot of lazy rumors. Again, you're going to see that anytime a new manager shows up, they're going to get linked to a lot of former players at their clubs. It happens all the time. Now, Sporting paid 13 million to bring him from Liga MX and Toluca. It is reported that he has a 70 million release clause. Don't think you're going to have to pay the release clause. Spurs got Pedro Porro from Sporting for like a package worth around 40 million pounds. So again, you're probably looking at something in that similar price range. I think like Cunha, like Mbumo, he is more of a ready-made option, albeit not a Premier League proven option like those two, but he is more of a ready-made option who, again, maybe coming from Sporting to United, you're not like, okay, you're guaranteed to start, but I think that he can handle it. We don't always need to look at young players when it comes to depth. Against Somerville, 24, Araujo, 26. I think that's also a great option as well. Danny says Amorim would have let him. Yeah, as a left wing back, he would have been perfect. If Amorim, conveniently not, when Amorim was still here and I was putting together my summer signings list, he was an option I had as like a experienced left wing back option who would kind of rotate in and out with Dorgu. I still think that if we sold Shaw, Araujo will be a good fit, as an experienced left back. I think he could do that just fine. Debasi's not so sure. It's all right. Again, not saying that these are the best of the best. These are just some of my picks. There are some who didn't make the list simply because they're either too expensive, maybe a bit too young, maybe not. Just maybe I just haven't watched a lot of them, like Danny's guy at Watford Mama. If I haven't seen enough, then I can't really speak, and I don't want to just come in blind like that. So, but I do like Araujo. He's been on my list for a little while, and I think this could be a good opportunity if we want someone who's going to be able to deliver crosses into the box. So one more to go over here, you guys. Now, this one might be a bit of an unknown for a lot of you, but you guys know I'm putting on my hat here. So you've got the relegation Premier League proven guy. You've got the Ajax, the young gun, the next big thing guy in Micah Goetz as well. We've got we've got the kind of the French flair in Fofana, who you're kind of like, how is he still at Lyon? How is he not a starter? Let's get him, kind of a thing. We've got the experienced guy in Araujo. Now I want to look at the guy who everybody will be saying is the guy by the time the summer rolls around. And I'm talking about Bazumana Torre. Now, I know everyone's looking at Yan Diomande, and before Yan Diomande, everyone was looking at Antonio Nusa. But what about picking up the guy that Leipzig is going to buy to replace those two when they sell them? And then they're going to turn around and sell this kid for 80 to 100 million in a couple of years. That's kind of where I need this club to start going. Is let's not wait till Caicedo goes to Brighton. Let's not wait till Baleba, if you still want Baleba. Let's not wait till they get them. Let's get them before these clubs get them. So we're the ones paying 5-10 million, not 80 to 100 million. That's what I'm talking about. Bazumana Torre, a young Ivorian left wing. He's at Hoffenheim at the moment. But this kid's got pace for day. He's fast. He's confident. He's fast. Maintains width. Excellent dribbling. He's fast. He's a goal threat. He presses high off the ball. He works hard off the ball. And he's fast. I mean, what's not to like, right? Have I mentioned that he's fast? Among the fastest in the league at a top sprint speed of nearly 36 kilometers an hour, which is the fourth fastest in the Bundesliga this season. The kid is rapid. His speed and his movement can absolutely terrorize and destabilize defenses. Again, pinning fullbacks deep or opening up space in the middle of the pitch by dragging them wide. That's kind of like a lot of work gets overlooked that wingers and even strikers do sometimes, just with movement, just by the way it moves other players. It's chess in many ways. But for a 19-year-old who's really having a breakout season in the Bundesliga, he's got 2 goals, 5 assists in his first full season in the Bundesliga since making the switch from Hammarby. Loads of Premier League clubs have sent scouts to watch Torre when he was still at Hammarby in the Swedish league, including United. He was already a regular there when he was 18 in the starting 11. Hoffenheim paid about £8.5 million for him. And according to Florian Plettenberg, they're demanding a club record fee to part ways with him. So that would mean they're demanding more than the $38.5 million they got for Joe Linton, however long ago. Some fans may not like the idea of another African attacker with AFCON tending to cause disruptions and whatnot. But remember, AFCON is now in the summer from now on. And then after next year, it will be moved to every 4 years. And so keep that in mind. AFCON is going to look a little different moving forward. Danny says, exactly. Danny says, to be honest, haven't watched him yet. Yeah, again, this is the one that's probably the least well-known of all my options today, but it is the one, again, for everybody clamoring over Yan Diomande, this is the guy who's going to replace Yan Diomande as soon as Leipzig sell him. Like, go get him before they do, and then let someone else pay 80 million. I'm not saying Yan Diomande is not good. He's amazing. He's having a great season. But is 80 to 100 million really what we need to spend on a winger right now? Probably not. We go get this guy. You're spending maybe 40 million, maybe 30 and like 5, 7, 8 million in add-ons or something. Tobias says, looks good, not Vinigo. Yeah, we won't. I'm not I'm not getting into the whole Vinny drama these days, or the Prestiani drama. I read about it. I saw some clips. It's nuts. It can never just be a freaking nice day. Champion. I still don't know why Vinny got yellow carded for celebrating. I don't get that, but it is what it is. Big up Rob Taps in the house. Says Rayon and Dango look good players on the up. Yeah, if you're talking about Rayon, we did a scouting report on him several months ago when he was still at Vasco da Gama. Good player, man. Should have listened to everybody, man. Yeah, we scouting, man. I see all these players going on and doing great things now. Tobias says he is active in the attack. He is a chance creator. He can do a little bit of everything. He can cut in and shoot. He can obviously put a whipping a ball at the box. You can see he gets to the byline a lot, but he gets a lot of touches in the box, man. Big up. Danny says, I hope Vivel is on this kid. Yeah, I mean, you hope. You really do hope. I don't like the idea of going and spending big on a winger. You guys know that. I've already said that a couple times. I prefer to go and spend big on the priority positions. Doesn't mean you have to spend 100 million. I don't think Elliot Anderson's going to cost anywhere near what the reported price tag is, by the way. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Obviously, this is not the kickabout today. We had, Dylan had some personal stuff come up, and obviously personal stuff takes precedent over this. So we're going to let him kind of handle his business. Dylan's a busy guy these days, man. He's got all sorts of stuff going on, and he takes on a lot for his family too, not to put him on blast or anything, but well, big up Dylan. We'll come back for that next week, give him some time to got classes and all sorts of stuff, and then we'll come back strong next week and get that done. But yeah, tonight definitely I had this one in the chamber, was happy to be able to get it out there. But I want to know what you guys think. Are there any that I missed? Any that you think I should be looking at? Anybody on here that you haven't heard of? Anybody on here that you just want to avoid like the plague? Danny says that's why I would take a punt on Mama. No pressure as a backup. Yeah, I'm gonna go try to watch a little bit more Watford. We did a scouting report on a Watford winger a while back. Oh, I think it was Vata. Is that his name? You guys know, like sometimes when I do these scouting reports, I already start planning for the next one, and so sometimes it's easy. I do so many that I lose track of everybody that I've done. Pretty much. Let me go check and see what that guy's name was. Vata. Yeah, it was Vata. He is injured. He's Irish though, but he was having a really good season when we started. So I think it sounds like Mama is the one who came in and kind of took over for him. But there are a lot of options. Kevin, yeah, I mean Kevin's probably going to cost you a little bit more now because they just got him, and so be on the lookout for that. I read Marco Silva could be a free agent this summer. Maybe that's something else we can talk about because there's a couple manager situations going into the summer that could be up in the air. Marco Silva, I know that he was Stu's pick, I think, the other day on Jarvis's channel. Hansi Flick could be. I like Hansi Flick. I think he plays a little too high line for the Premier League, though, so I don't know if I'd be all over that. But there are options in managers, too, because a lot of the international managers that some of us liked probably off the table now. So manager options are getting thin. There's still some out there, but we'll see. But I want to know you guys' thoughts on some of these picks. And what do you guys say here? So 67% of you say it's not crucial, but depth is needed. So when you say not crucial, but depth needed, how much does that look like in hard numbers in terms of how much would you want to spend on left wing option for depth? So most of the guys I have in here, I can see not most, like Somerville, Araujo, even guys like Goats, where they're going to cost between 30-40 million. You could probably get Torre for a little less. I don't think you're going to have to break the bank for Torre as much as what they want to say, but Fofana is probably, they're all in that 35-40 million range. How much would you guys spend on a depth option at the left side? See, Danny says Flick and Ajax, Erik ten Hag are similar. Yeah, I like Flick as a manager. I just don't know if the system. I think 3 years ago, maybe when everybody was playing the high line, but now you play a high line in the Premier League, you'll get absolutely exposed with counterattacks. There's just too much directness, too much pace now. Everyone's looking to play a lot of vertical, whereas before they just weren't. I don't think the high line works as much anymore. I think that day is come and gone, similar to like tiki-taka kind of stuff. Let's see. Devas says we don't have a proper left wing. Well, right now, Cunha is going to play there, and Cunha will do just fine. I don't have a problem with it personally. He has played there. He can play there. Dorgu, it really just depends on who's the manager and what they see. But I think, like you're saying, if we don't have a problem, we do need some depth. A lot of these guys can come in, do the job, and most of them can, especially the young players, will develop to a point where in a couple of years they could make that starting 11 spot their own. Maybe Bruno leaves and Cunha's moved to the 10, and then you've got a left wing option of like someone like Goats. You've got Shesko, you've got Cunha, and then you've got like Mbumo on the right. I don't know what that means for Ahmad personally, but maybe Ahmad can move to the 10 if Bruno leaves too. And this is the beauty of having versatility. Guys like Fofana can play anywhere across the line as well, for instance. Have a little versatility. That's why I'm not too worried necessarily about a striker this summer. I would still take someone like Jared Bowen, but if they get relegated, West Ham. But I think that we've seen that Cunha can play there, Mbumo can play there if Shesko is injured or something. So I'm not too worried about it. I do still think Xerxes is probably just not going to work out, but I'm not too worried about striker. Danny says 40-45 million max. What we have to say. Yeah, I'm definitely prioritizing midfield. I think we can get two quality midfielders for 100 million, someone like Anderson and then someone Less expensive, like Hiranki or something, who we talked about the other day, who is swiftly kind of jumping up to the top of my list of backups. Personally, I had a free agent on there. I might even want to spend a little bit on Hiranki ahead of the free agent because I do think he's one I just don't want to miss out on because he looks very, very, very good. And he's young. He could rotate. He could do a very good job. Again, another one that Brighton are reportedly looking at to replace Baleba. Go get him before they do, and then we've got the next Baleba if you count Baleba as that good. Devasi's going even more. He says go spend 60 million on the left wing option. Well, remember, the more you spend on every position that's not your priority, the less you have to spend on your priority position. It really comes to priorities. Again, I think we can get minimum 2 quality midfielders to replace Casemiro, to replace Ugarte depth wise. I wouldn't have a problem using Fletcher or someone like that as backup for Mainu. I don't have a problem with that. I would prefer maybe someone older like a Patrick Berg who can play that Eriksson role, who can take over deep line playmaker duties as a more experienced player, but it's not my call. Fullback, some people think fullback's up there. I don't think I'm worried about center back. I just want a midfielder, maybe someone left side and a fullback. Dorgu can play either side. Mezraoui can play either side. Probably going to be stuck with Dallo. It is what it is. Shaw, I would definitely sell personally. Devasi says take Welbeck. Don't diss Welbeck, man. I would take Danny Welbeck back in a year just to provide some cover. I don't have a problem with that at all. Then he says it has to be Sangare at Lens, Fernandes at West Ham, Anderson. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people who are like, let's get Anderson, let's get Baleba, and I'm like, well, what does that mean for Cobby? Because you can't go spend the much on Baleba and Anderson and not start both of them. And then if you start both of them, where's Cobby going to play? And maybe Cobby can move to the 10 if Bruno gets sold. There's a lot of options, and that's the beauty of versatility in a player. Danny says 150 to 200 spend in midfield. Yikes. There are some creative options. There are players who will be out of contract this summer that I think, like Eric Martel at Cologne, 23-year-old, big 6'2", 6'3" defensive midfielder. He's out of contract in the summer, hasn't signed a new one. Get him for free. He's an instant upgrade on Ugarte. Play him in rotation behind someone like Anderson or something. Very good. He can also play center back too. He's had to play center back this season, Martel, because they've had so many injuries over at Cologne, but you can get creative. Look for players who are out of contract in the summer, and all of a sudden your budget is going a lot further than we initially thought. And that's the kind of creativity I wish we could go look at. There are plenty of players out there right now you can get on a pre-contract, get them locked in, and just you're good. You're fine till the summer. So, but let's see here. Yeah, he's very similar. He's like one of those just physical midfielders that you want, just who's going to win headers, who's going to get stuck in, help out set pieces and whatnot, offer a bit of depth. When you're playing against teams where maybe you're going to sit back a little deeper, a little bit more compact, when you're going in and the opposition prevents you from being a little bit more open and mobile, he's maybe the guy you want just to come in. So, yeah, there are some decent players out of contract, Rob. You just got to look around, and I wish we would do that a little bit more often. Think outside the box, go for the guys like Sfer Nipan, get him signed, loan him back to Rosenborg or something for the season, like that kind of stuff. You don't have to play all the young players. You can bring them in, loan them out, do what you got to do. So, I said Leipzig had that monster. I keep forgetting his name. There's a lot of players out there. Personally, that I think Schlager is out of contract in the summer as well. If you guys watch Leipzig, Xavier Schlager is a experienced center midfielder for them. He's very similar to like a Gallagher or like a Højbjerg profile in midfielder, just a guy who's going to get stuck in and get around the pitch. That's kind of like what you're looking at. So a lot of options. Julian Brandt, I think, is going out of contract. He could be maybe a deep line kind of playmaker to come in and rotate in and out with Cobby. So Baku's, you talking about the fullback? He was at Wolfsburg. I did a scouting report on him, not for the channel. Way back when I was doing the blog, I scouted him when he was at Wolfsburg. Very good fullback. I haven't watched a lot of him at Leipzig personally. Leipzig are a bit of a shit show these days, but yeah, I liked him when he was at Wolfsburg. I don't know how he's doing since he moved to Leipzig, but that's gonna be it for me, you guys. If I didn't mention someone you think would be a good shout, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think of the options that I put out there today. 5 options I think come in. With Cunha, they can play other sides as well, rotate with Dorgu, whatever you need to do. And maybe in a year or two, who knows, they could make that starting 11 spot their own. But you can get them for between 30, 40 million, and save yourself some money if we're looking for depth. It does sound like left wing is something that we might be considering. I don't think you have to go spend a ton of money like someone on Diamande. Diamande's good, but I'm not spending that much when we've got other priorities. So midfield comes first, in my opinion. Lock in two quality options to kind of play in and around and rotate, and maybe sell Ugarte if we can, possibly. And then we can focus on other positions. But Danny says, have a new midfielder to scout. Yeah, I saw your comment the other day. Yeah, if you guys starting 11 and Legends members can suggest players too, just leave comments on the videos because I can't guarantee I'll be able to go back and find them in the live chat because that's a lot of live chat to go through. But Rob says no to Gordon. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Gordon. He's got a lot of the injuries as well. So, but obviously he got like 4 goals tonight. But it is what it is. They all count. So, but until next time, you guys, take it easy, enjoy yourself. We've got a match preview coming up, so keep a lookout for that as well, because we do play Monday. It feels like it's been forever, but we will play in a few days. We got more Champions League today as well. So let me check the score of the under 18s. You guys, make sure you like and subscribe before you take off. I want to make sure we get to 3K. We were just 5 short of 3K before I went live. I'd love to see how much we got now. What was the score here? 4-1. Under 18s beat Oxford United 4-1, and they get to the quarterfinals of the FA Youth Cup. So obviously we scored another goal since the last time, since I stopped watching. So it was Noah Ajayi who got the 4th. Cheeto Obi got 1. JJ Gabriel as well. So really good from the youngsters today. Big up, everyone. Take it easy, guys. And I will see you guys on the next